Record to the cloud.
That's the effects of sugar. Just telling you that your brain. Oh my! I made my confession. I was bad, but not as bad as I used to be. Is that good? I don't know.
Yes, that is.
I'm being honest. You know, Easter was a little hard. But like I said, I was bad, but I was not as bad as I used to be. And this is about progress, not perfection.
That's right.
And when we were singing, how great is our God, all will see how great is our God. And that's what's going to happen here. As you all make your transformation, people are going to see something different. And you're going to get the opportunity to say, how great is my God? Because when they see that you're different and you feel different, you sound different, then you get the opportunity to give God the glory. And if you can hang on to that, I think that's what's going to make it possible. Because you can say, I've tried a million things, I've tried a million times, but I decided I needed to try it with God. And that's what made the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking earlier about how sometimes you can share with family and friends about why you're choosing differently with your food. And sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's offensive. And sometimes they're open ears and it's the right words at the right time. It's just like sharing our faith. How do you know when sometimes you're supposed to and sometimes you're not supposed to? You have to listen to the Spirit of God. And you just have to follow that one step at a time. So I want what that other thing in the song was, our heart will sing.
Yes.
You know, I was just thinking when I was walking in here, what is it going to be like with this group of people 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now?
We should put that together.
Yeah, we should,
6
because
months
we're
from
going to
now
be
and-
celebrating.
Yeah.
Not only that, it will become contagious because more is caught than taught. And I feel sure that there will be hearts that will be singing, right? So that's kind of, I don't know, that's what hit me today. It was a good worship time. Thank you so much. So we're going to have lots of sharing today. Not till I get my little papers here. So now my photo gallery, Dan.
Is that where you have them in your gallery?
Yeah, I have them in my gallery. So first thing that we got into this week was about worshiping God, not food.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, as I was even snacking on healthy, good, clean things a couple of times this week, I thought, you know, it's interesting. I'm not really snacking because I'm hungry. And I have energy. I don't even really need to fuel my body right now. I just wanted those cashews. And so that's the mindset. If I wasn't teaching this and if I wasn't doing this, that thought wouldn't even come to my mind. But it's getting deeper all the time, which is good. So I want to know if you all have had some mindset shifts. I know some of you have told me you're reading labels in the grocery stores, right?
Yes.
So that is a mindset shift. That is a new habit, a new behavior. Any other mindset shifts? Are you shopping at different places? Are you cooking different? Are you rebelling 100%? Anybody want to share any mindset? You're rebelling 100%. Well, you know what? We're all going to pray for you because we've all been there. We've all been
I'm
there.
miserable in the process.
Well, sometimes it takes us long. Sometimes it takes some of us longer than others to get tired of being tired. So we're going to pray that you get tired of being tired and that you hit that wall and you're ready to make that turn, right? Well, thank you for being honest. Because we're in this together, what
Right.
Diane said.
Right, we're in it together.
We're in this together because it's easier when you're in it together. It really is.
There's more accountability, I think.
Yeah. It's
Because
still not
confession is
easy,
good
but
for
it's
the
easier.
soul, right? You know, so
There's more encouragement.
yeah.
Right,
there's
and
more
just like she
encouragement.
said last week about the exercise.
Yeah.
This is good in a group, and it motivates you to do the things that we need to do.
Yeah.
As it does. Yeah.
Can I just say something, Cindy? If you're gonna change one habit, you have to have a replacement. So what are you gonna replace? Because if you just say, I'm not gonna have soda anymore, that won't go. It's I'm gonna have this instead of soda. Put it in a positive, and you have to. Or the other thing is sometimes it works for people is to decrease it. Like if you drink 3 sodas a day, go to 2 sodas a day, and
Yeah.
each week go down. And that's just easier on humans to do it that way. You do it that with sugar, you can do that with salt. Is that you take it gradually down for your body to get used to something different. So that's something you could try.
Little by little. I'm in
Little
a
by
Bible
little.
study with a group of women. We've been together for 20 years. And we call ourselves little by little. I can't tell you how many millions of times through all the things 20 women have been through in 20 years. Or it's about 18, 20 women in 20 years. A lot of stuff, right? Little by little. And that is
Little by
it.
little. And that's in the
Yeah.
Bible anyway, precept by precept.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I used to love French fries, but I tell you what, that recipe for the sweet potato fries,
Oh,
it is wonderful,
Mm.
wonderful.
Yeah, I love sweet potatoes.
yeah, and sweet potatoes are so good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are. I love them. And everywhere I go, I'll say, do you have sweet potato fries?
I know, and
Yeah.
they need to get
I
on
want
board.
everybody in the world to know you need to get sweet fries.
Yeah, seriously.
But I even put them in.
I know they don't have them. I just asked because I like to give.
I cut up 2 sweet potatoes and put one in the, baked it and put it in the refrigerator and put it back in the oven the second day. And it was just as good the second day as it was the first day.
That's good.
It gets sweet. You
Yeah,
put a
very
little,
sweet.
I don't put anything on mine.
I say overcook that sweet potato and it gets
Baked sweet
mushy
potato?
and you put some cinnamon on it and it tastes like a dessert.
Yeah, you don't need the stevia. I mean,
Yeah,
just a
you
little
don't
bit of,
mix
you put a little bit of cinnamon on it and that's plenty.
We had baked sweet potatoes over the weekend, and my husband put, just like he does a white potato, butter and sour cream, and I'm like, please taste
just
that
ruined it.
without all that stuff.
You
Yeah.
just ruined it.
Yeah, it is.
Eat it plain.
And I used to not like them. Mindset change. So can you show the first picture? The one about
So
Canada?
it's just
Oh,
bringing
it
up all
says
your.
covenant, covenant.
Okay, thank you.
That's
So
right.
I will say, while I'm looking for this folder here, not something that I have personally changed, but for the first time in eons, my wife actually said, hey, I'm cooking this, this, and this. I know your diet doesn't. And she's actually starting to be more cognizant of what can and can't be done, which is not just great for me, but then she starts thinking about what's in the food too. So it's more than just me getting healthy. It's affecting throughout the family and household,
It does affect the whole family.
which is great because we're a convenience fast food family all the time. And getting out of that, breaking that cycle now is super important.
My youngest son requires grass-fed meat.
Oh,
So we had grass-fed lamb. Yeah. I mean, and that wasn't even, it used to be that mom was weird. But now they're getting more educated outside of what I've taught them. They learned it somewhere else, and now it's true.
it's okay now.
Yes. And it's caught on.
I was gonna say, that's what I was gonna say. It's amazing how many people start watching just the changes that you're doing. And they try not to act interested at first,
Mhm.
but then their curiosity peaks and they're like, why are you doing that? I mean, my husband is now having 1 to 2 shakes a day
Oh, wow.
rather than bread,
Yeah. Yeah.
which the man loves. So this has far-reaching effects.
Mhm.
And I can say, rather than changing, and now I'm gonna mess up what I'm gonna share, but rather than changing a habit, I have been embracing a process
Okay.
that is changing me from the inside out in the way I view it.
I love that. And Carol's gonna share more.
I am.
Yeah. She has quite the story she's gonna share with us. So, 7 bad side effects of drinking soda. Have I gotten you all off soda yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've said
So
that.
now when people challenge you, maybe this isn't for your decision. Maybe you've already become a believer and you're off of soda, but it's good to have the ammunition, or that's probably not a good word, but facts when you're sharing with people. So diet soda causes kidney problems, messes up your metabolism, causes obesity. Diet soda causes a terrible hangover, and rotting teeth, and reproductive problems. This is
You missed cell damage.
cell damage. Thank you.
In other words, it makes you a mess.
Yeah, I always tell people it's eating your bones. And as you get older, your
Because of
bones,
the aspartame.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to worry about your bones as you get older. But go ahead to the next picture.
Wait a minute, quick question.
Yeah.
So the cans, that, hypo, the last one.
Soda, I bet that's a
Cans.
type of
That's a-
soda.
Yeah, so just don't eat the cans. You'll be okay. You'll be good. You'll be good.
So now that was diet soda, right? Because we think that diet soda is the
Oh,
answer.
everybody thinks it's better.
I used to drink Diet Coke,
Oh, no.
and I forget the names of some of the things I drank because it was the thing to do. It's what we knew. But soda, of course, now you have the sugar on top of it, which the sugar and the aspartame is equally bad. But here you're talking about, of course, obesity, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, increases risk of gout, dementia, and liver disorders, and heart diseases. So, I get so sad when I'm going through the grocery store and I see the amounts of soda that people buy.
Oh.
But it starts with us, we start to be the world changers. So, go ahead.
And that's predominantly where most people get most of their sugar.
Yeah.
You guys have probably talked about this, but the average American consumes 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the sugar in a year. It's 35 pounds. Bag. You take 35-pound bag and stack them up. That's the average American. So there are those who are consuming a lot more.
Right.
Has anybody ever heard of dew mouth?
What is it?
Dew mouth. Dew mouth is actually a condition in Appalachia. There are parts of Appalachia where Mountain Dew is so popular that the result, yeah, that's where it originated. But it's so popular that folks who don't always have access to the best drinking water instead drink Mountain Dew, and it just completely destroys your teeth. I mean, it starts taking the enamel first, and then that is a real medical condition. So soda is just, it is killer.
Yeah, I never heard of that. Dew mouth. That's interesting. So, yeah, we need to not drink soda, and we need to encourage others. So I'm all about mocktails now. I make the most exciting mocktails. I did a lime cucumber mocktail for my guests yesterday for Easter with sparkling water, and it was so refreshing. So you can Google just about anything. So turmeric. This week you're gonna Google recipes with turmeric. Okay. So I sprinkle turmeric in every single one of my protein shakes, and sometimes I have a turmeric supplement also. I'm thinking about inflammation. I'm always trying to reduce the inflammation because I like to abuse my body on the tennis court and jogging and all that kind of stuff. And of course, at this age, I should have some arthritis, but if I reduce that inflammation at the lowest possible amount, then I don't have the aches and pains from being athletic and, you know, that kind of stuff. And turmeric is very key as an anti-inflammatory. It also has properties to help prevent cancer, improves digestion, boosts immune system, promotes weight loss, helps in wound healing, improves skin health, detoxifies the liver, helps control diabetes, helps prevent arthritis. And at Aldi, you can buy organic turmeric. Also, a lot of times at Marshall's and Ross, you know, where they have all that gourmet food, you can find organic turmeric. And it hardly has a taste. You can put it in a lot of things and you don't even know it's there. And you also can go to coffee shops and you can get a turmeric latte. Turmeric, almond milk, and a little bit of honey. I'm not sure if it's organic honey, but, you know, better than stevia and sugar. But if you're making it at home, you can control that and you can put organic sugar in it. So
It is a little overpowering if you use it in food, though. You gotta watch when you use it in food. I take a supplement, but I made a recipe one time and it called for, I don't know how much turmeric, and I put that much in it and I didn't care for it. So it's kind of,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
used
See,
a
I
lot in
haven't noticed
Indian
that.
food,
Okay, I guess I must not have.
and a lot of people
Yeah,
like
not
it. I just didn't.
Sprinkled it on fish.
If you're trying to get the daily recommended amount, it's overpowering.
Yeah, it is.
You need
So-
to take
That's why I
an
take a
actual,
supplement.
right?
So take a supplement.
Yeah.
Do you know what that daily is?
I don't remember, I looked it up. We have couches.
Yeah, it is. Who would have known? So, go ahead, please. So let's see, day 25, progress over perfection. All about progress over perfection. I think I was talking about that as I was confessing about my having dessert at Easter. And this is what I needed. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak. I am so good when it's not in the house. It isn't even funny. You know? And I tell all of my clients that I coach, you cannot depend on your willpower. Forget it. Even if you have great willpower, you cannot depend on it. So you have to depend on God, and you have to depend on thinking and making the decision in advance. You know, when you go through the aisle, if M&M's is your thing and you buy that bag of M&M's, and should I buy them or not buy them? You know darn well if you buy them, you're going to eat them when you get home. But if you don't buy them, you're not going to eat them when you get home because you don't have them. So making that decision in advance. You know, we've taught our children and all kinds of people about making that decision in advance, right? Before you fall in love, make that decision. I remember teaching my boys all those things. Okay, so next. We are really hitting the high spots today because we have a couple of people that are going to share, and I don't want to take from them at all. I want to make sure we have time for that. So I really liked that. Blue is my favorite color, and I thought that was really powerful. So I think we're staying away from aspartame now. Harry loves his chai latte. So he brought home chai latte, you know, skinny chai latte. Like, let me see, I turned over aspartame. So it's better to get the chai latte that doesn't have it, you know, and kind of reduce the amount that you're drinking or something. So you really they hide it a lot of places. You just have to really read your labels. So I think day 25 talked about having a cup of tea and confessing our weaknesses or when we find ourselves rebelling. You know, I'm pointing to you only because you were so honest to share with us. But we've all had those days, right?
Yep.
And I think half the battle is sharing, right? When you share, then you collectively have the support of everyone. and, just have that cup of tea and get alone with God and just, pour your heart out. I say when you have that big temptation, take a walk. Get a big bottle of water and take a walk. And I like to pray when I walk. And I'm like a different person when I come back. So I really would encourage that. So we talked about also day 25. We're getting in there now. If you all have made these changes from week 1, you should be starting to see some changes. So you don't want to go crazy weighing yourself every day, but they recommend that you weigh yourself once a week. So you should be doing that and just celebrating your progress. That's what you want to do. Just don't get all hung up about it, because fluid and everything, your weight can do weird things. And then also, all calories are not equal. So if you have a piece of cheesecake and it's 300 calories versus 300 calories, you have a nice organic chicken breast and a sweet potato, the chemistry of your body is 2 different things, and what's going on, how the muscle is built and all those things. So that's why you can't always depend on the scale every single week. You know how you're feeling, you know what you're doing. So that's my advice on the weigh in and the measure. It's fun to take before and after pictures. I have a lot of my clients that have before and after pictures. Some of them's just their face. Amazing how much just your face changes as you start to eat cleaner. And it's not just about the weight loss. You get this glow. Your skin is a reflection of what's going on inside your body. So it really is. And I have seen that change in a lot of people. Let's see, Carol, what day are you? You're 27.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Oh, okay, so this is the body cleanse, right? We talked about this last week, and then they talked about it again. Who has had a day of the body cleanse? I know Carol has. I like the taste of it.
I do too.
It's lemon ginger.
don't like lemon.
You don't like lemon. Well, it is lemonade. So what, it's the taste of it's one thing, but it's about what's in it, right? So magnesium is a key mineral known for digestive support. It's about healing the gut, soothing the gut, and cleansing all of your organs at the cellular level, including your blood. The ginger supports normal digestion. There's aloe in there, which again soothes the digestive tract. Glutamine helps support gastrointestinal health, and chlorine helps with liver function. So when I said this program is a lot about gut health and detoxifying the organs, the reason why you do it round about day 4 and then you do it every 4th day is because the first 4 days, as you're changing your eating patterns, your body begins to release these toxins. And then this helps to kind of flush them through. And it's amazing how much joint pain goes away as you start to get those excess toxins out of your body. It's amazing. It's not just turmeric that does that. So let's see, day 26. Oh, what's my next picture? A lot of people ask me about that body cleanse. Oh gosh, I'm really stuck on this, aren't I? And actually, she brought it up in the book over and over. So, but let's just hold there. But let me say this about the cleanse. It is a gentle cleanse, and it's not like a colonoscopy prep.
Right.
Okay, because I know a lot of people. I'll offer them a couple of cups of tea, and they look at me like, I don't know. But one of the things that this program does do on purpose is supports the organs of elimination. So your organs, obviously your liver, your colon, your kidneys, your skin, we want to accelerate the detoxifying process. And, you have to be regular. I hate to bring it up, but you have to be regular. I've been bringing it up for 13 years because my mother had colon cancer and my mom died at the age of 61. And everybody in my family has had these issues all of their life. But since I've learned all of this, I don't. And I've learned how important it is that we are regular. So if you're not regular, you need to talk to me or somebody.
We'll help you.
Some people, you know, you might think TMI, but it is so important that we can't not talk about it. Okay? So now we'll go back to soda. Because this is the side effect of soda. Weakens the bones and rots the teeth. That's the phosphoric acid that's in it. Who has healthy soda right now? Coke or Pepsi? They have a healthy soda now. It has stevia in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's real healthy.
Yeah. But I looked at it and it still has the phosphoric acid. Excessive artificial sweeteners makes you crave more. The caramel color made from chemical caramel is purely cosmetic and it doesn't add flavor, yet it's tainted with carcinogens. And the FDA does nothing about it. Formaldehyde, it is a carcinogen. Formaldehyde is in almost all of your skincare products. You check me out. Go home, look at your labels. It's in everything. You know why? Because it gives it a long shelf life. And if it has a long shelf life, then the profit margin is higher. Okay? That's why formaldehyde is in there. So there we have it. It's in soda. It is not added in soda, but when you digest aspartame, it will break down into 2 amino acids, methanol, formic acid, formaldehyde, blah, blah, blah. High fructose corn syrup. I don't know about you all, but I was raised on King syrup.
Oh, yeah.
King syrup. And
It's
did
good.
anybody else
It's
have
good.
Conmoss and Scrapple at their house?
Goodness.
I can't.
Yeah.
And it tasted good because it had King syrup on it.
I used to eat it by the spoonful.
I mean, I think I liked it,
I did. I know I did.
but I can't imagine eating it now. So, but obviously we know that high fructose corn syrup is not just in King syrup. It's hidden in a lot of things.
It's in ketchup.
Yeah, it's ketchup, everything. Yeah, check your condiments. Concentrated form of sugar, you know, and it's that corn, right? That's been sprayed with Roundup, so you're getting the glyphosate. Oh goodness.
Have you guys talked about the, what protein sugar is in cooking?
We did.
About how the brain lights up.
It's 5 times more.
Yeah, 5 times. I didn't remember that it was 5 times more. But yeah, when you put a brain under a microscope and you feed it sugar and you feed it
The CAT
cocaine,
You show a CAT scan, it lights up the same part.
yeah,
Right,
Lights up.
right, as an opiate.
I was feeling it yesterday. I'm telling you, it had a strong pull on me. Can I just tell you what it was? Oh, it was a mango cheesecake.
Oh,
It just got me.
oh, we have pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
Oh, that's,
And that's yours. Yeah.
it's like yours.
Oh, yeah.
But it's got me. So, but I'm over it now. I am over it. So. I'm not gonna go in Saffron Bakery anytime soon. That's where I
Is
got
that
it.
where you got it?
Oh, yeah. I should not be telling you these things. I should not be.
No, it's good. You're admitting it. Stay away from it.
I'm a
You're
sinner,
human
all right?
too.
Right. I am a sinner.
But you're human.
I don't
Just like
sin on
us.
purpose though.
Right.
It's when I get tripped up. I say, it wasn't my fault. But I can say I address myself and then I sort of fret.
Every day's a new day, new
Yeah.
beginning.
Yes, but I don't want to take advantage of God's grace at all. I don't mean to make light of that. I just, if you slipped up, I just don't want you to feel like you can't come back next week.
Right.
So enough about soda. I think you get the idea. In day 26, she talks about fiber, and she also talks about a nice detox bath that you can take. I brought the detox soap back there. Y'all got to
What?
smell it. There's bath salts.
Oh,
It's a detox. It has all the different essential oils in it so that you can kind of detoxify as you soak in the bathtub and confess your sins. And but you can make your own. I page 97. She talks about how you can make your own with Epsom salt, and anytime you're soaking in the bath, you should put Epsom salt
Oh,
in the
yeah.
bath.
Yeah.
It helps to replace the minerals that the water takes out, and it also helps to take the lactic acid out of your muscles that are sore. So it's a really good thing to do. Put some essential oils in there also if you have them. So, yeah, she talks about how you can use the fiber. There's a lot of different ways you can use the fiber, but we do not get enough fiber. We really do not get enough fiber. And, you know, you have to work off a little bit at a time, little by little. But I can put like I can put a teaspoon of the fiber in my tea in the morning. I can, you know, little throughout the day works better for me than like full scoop. But when you're losing weight, you go the half scoop, full scoop, and it's all good. So just remember that we're not getting enough fiber. But remember, when you're eating apples and nuts and avocados, you're helping to get that fiber count up that you need. Okay? So, comfort food.
Before we go
Yes.
there, can I just say that I thought the spiritual lesson for day 26 was awesome, because again, it's a mindset change.
Okay.
It's a mindset change, especially the part that says that down at the bottom says that verse gave her a whole new perspective on accepting discipline in my life in order to honor God. That's a whole new mindset. And I thought, just looking at how God sees your struggle, and that to look at things from God's perspective is like the other side of the coin, instead of looking at it from your perspective, looking at it from His perspective, and how He changed, He changed the behavior. The way He looks at it gives us a chance to change our mindset when we look at it from His perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think spiritually that helps us to stay on track when we start asking, well, how does God see this? And looking at both sides of the coin. I thought this was particularly good because it says when we will endure His discipline together, and the trials will seem lighter because we remind each other of the prize ahead. There is no greater reward than to share in His holiness. As we submit our appetite to God, ask Him to open your eyes to see the eagles and your ears to hear His calling. And that's about opening your spiritual eyes and your spiritual ears to hear what He says about it. And that again gives us, instead of relying on your own willpower, you're relying on the might and the power of God. So I thought this was a particularly good because it's looking at God's perspective.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of perspective, that was one thing I wanted to share. And my pastor, when he did the Easter message, did a different twist. And he talked about how what Christ did was He opened the grave for us to get out. You know how we're in with these strongholds, we're like in this prison. It's like a grave. And because of what Christ did for us, we can get out. And so rather than, as we were singing about up out of the grave He arose, we were singing about us being out of the grave and breaking those strongholds by the power of the name of Jesus. And I don't know, I just saw Easter in a whole new way from that perspective. And sometimes we have to flip it, right, to see that. So that's what we're doing here. We're breaking these strongholds. And these strongholds, we know they go deep and they go way back. But that doesn't mean that they can't be broken. That's right. That does not mean they cannot be broken. Quit believing that lie, because Satan is a lie. Right? So really, we got to stop believing that stuff. So comfort food, Carol?
Yes.
Carol's going to talk to us about day 27, comfort food. Now I'm going to talk about eating out.
Oh, goody. I like the scripture that they cited, but I have one that I like better. Because it really described where I was at. And that's Romans 7:15. I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not do. but what I hate, I do. Now, I can tell you that our pastor started talking about change quite a while ago, because I have one little ping pong ball from his message that had something very specific on it for me, which was lose weight, my nemesis in life, losing weight. So this lesson, comfort food, it's very interesting when you start watching what you're doing. You find out things get tough. What do? Yes, you eat. You stuff your face. You go get a piece of chocolate. Okay, now I'm also a type 1 diabetic, so give me a piece of chocolate and you can watch the blood sugar go right up. And then the drop, which then gets to put you right back in the pit of being depressed. So what do?
It's more.
You go back and you stuff it, literally stuff it. So I got to really exploring in this when it talked about our churches being so overweight. I was like, oh my goodness. And it makes you stop and think back, how many potluck dinners do you go to? And it makes you stop and look at what everybody brings to potluck. Because most people to a potluck bring something that can feed a lot of people. It has a lot of carbs in it. They do. We're talking lots of breads and cakes and cookies and pastas and potatoes. And I understand how we got here because we love to fellowship. We're called on to enjoy each other and to enjoy that time together. We just kind of missed the mark on doing it in a better way. So every Wednesday night, converge here. We have food. And last week we had food and it was spaghetti, which that was fine. You had spaghetti sauce by itself. You had bread, you had salad, and you had wonderful desserts. And then to end the evening were chocolate truffles. Now, I will confess to you, that chocolate truffle is smaller than that ping pong ball, which meant the enemy's going,
Yes.
I did not take one. I walked away from them. And I brought my own salad that I had with avocado on it, all sorts of goodies, homemade dressing. I had people coming by my salad going, that looks good. And I said, if you want, I will share with you. Get a bowl. I will give you some of my salad. Nobody took me up on it because they didn't want to intrude on my salad. This was a treasured possession. But in the process of doing this, I will tell you, I received lots of praise from people going, wow, you actually took and did this and brought this. And I was like, yeah, I really need to do this. So by the end of the evening, I'm getting encouragement from other people that I did a good thing, which helped my attitude. But I'm going to take you a little further in the week. I was down to getting ready to look for Sundays, something to wear. And all the stuff was in the laundry. And I pulled out the last pair of jeans in the cupboard, which I had in the bottom of the cupboard because I couldn't get into them. And I didn't think anything about pulling these jeans out. I put them on and I zipped them up and I went,
Oh, my goodness.
Great.
To the point, I'm saying this in front of my pastor too. My spare tire, I go out to my husband and I'm going, I need you to look at this. Is this an optical contusion or what? What has happened here? And he's going, let me feel this.
I didn't even tell him how much it could help with a lot.
To which she went, wow, that's really cool. My spare tire was missing.
Oh, cool.
So I want you to know, now I stepped on the scales today, weigh-in day. I've done it a week ago. I did not lose a pound this week. Previously, I had lost 9 pounds just enacting this, which I found was very appropriate because she says in a later lesson, if you're into losing weight, don't use the almond milk or coconut milk. Go back to water. And I went, thank you, God. I got the answer right there. However, don't let me kill it here. I did the measurements. I didn't lose a pound.
Lost inches.
But you lost
I lost inches.
That's
And I
impressive.
was like, thank you, Jesus. The enemy did not get to stomp me.
Great.
Now, a friend and I had a conversation because once you know what you're doing and you're starting to feel comfortable with it, the enemy's wily. He sneaks in with a different attack that has nothing to do with food. But I want you to be aware what's near and dear to our hearts are our family. I have a husband with Alzheimer's. So where does the enemy step in? With family. The old response would have been, go get something, chocolate, right then. But because this has been used by the Lord to change my thinking, I didn't do that. I went and I had communion in my dining room. That changed my circumstances. That changed my perspective. So I want to encourage you with that. Don't give up. Do not give up on you. Don't. And if you need us to hold your hands, we'll hold your hands. We'll pray over you. We will encourage you because it's important. But so I got looking into one thing, which is about, we've all heard it takes 21 days to break a habit. So I was like, Lord, I need more than that. So I want to tell you how that came about. There was a Dr. Maxwell Maltz, and he was a plastic surgeon. And in the 1950s, he noticed that if he did like a nose job for someone, it took them like 21 days to get used to this change. If there was an amputation, it took about 21 days before the person quit feeling that leg or that arm there. And so he wrote about this. So they came up with all the gurus for self-motivation came up with, it takes 21 days to break a habit. The only thing is, wait a minute, let me get to the other guy. Then we also have another gentleman, Felipe Lally, who is a health psychology researcher at the University College in London. They decided to study if people could break habits and how long it took. So they took a test group and they only had to change one thing, as simple as having a glass of water before dinner or running 15 minutes before dinner. And they were able from that to average out that it takes anywhere, wait a minute, let me get to the right page here. It takes anywhere from 18 days to 254 days to change your thinking about something. So they stress, don't give up if within 18 to 21 days, everything hasn't changed. It takes time for this to be renewed, the way you look at it, the way you think about things. I would say I've probably been on this quest for a couple of years, at least, well, it's been more than a couple with all the different diet plans I have done. But at no time, they were diet plans. They were not changing your life. This is all about changing your whole perspective on your life. You've got to have God at the center of it, or you will stay stuck. It's got to be at the center of it. So I want to encourage you that it is doable. It will come off. It does take some time. Be kind to yourself. You be kind to you, Cindy. I will love on you, girl. Because I'm seeing what this can do. So this is a good thing. So look for comfort in the Lord and let Him start expanding your thinking on eating right, because it's so much more fun. Oh, and your family does watch you. My family is watching me. They're watching. This is comical. Because when I came in from church on Sunday, my sons are going, woo, look at Mom. She's losing weight now. Woo, woo. Well, I knew they were pulling my leg, but you know what? It mattered. So I encourage everybody, hang in there.
Yes.
It's a process.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was excellent.
Thank you.
And what I found, I think it was 2 years ago, I've been doing this program with people for 7 years. And so, you know, I do it strict about once a quarter. And then I live on like a 80-20, except for Easter, 90-10.
You're not over.
You're still, she's still dealing with it. But what I found was 2 years ago, I led 3 groups in a row, January, February, March. And I found that when I did that 90-day was magical. It really became a lifestyle, as in how you brush your teeth before you go to bed. That, like, you don't even think about it. What I buy at the grocery store and what I'm planning to cook and that kind of thing. So
It makes shopping easy.
yeah, I think it
So
really,
much
you will
easier.
find that it simplifies your life.
Yes,
It really,
I agree.
it really does.
Has anybody ever heard of Donnie McClurkin?
Johnny
Yes.
McClurkin.
The gospel singer?
Yeah.
So, it might be more than 10 minutes, I struggle with time sometimes, but he came out years and years ago and talked about his struggle with homosexuality. That may seem like an odd thing to call it, but sexuality is just an appetite. And he said something, actually I heard him say something in the service that I've never forgotten. He said, I had to learn to hate the thing that I love. I had to learn to accept that the thing that I was attracted to was an enemy to me. And I have used that so many times in my life, even when I've lost 100 pounds. To be able to say at different things, this soda, these sweets, this half gallon of ice cream that I eat every day. and that was no joke. I was 20, it was the day before my 29th birthday. I was laying on my couch. I was pre-diabetic. I was having heart palpitations. My skin was pale and pasty. And I was laying on my couch on September 23rd, 2007. And I heard the Lord say, we're going to do something wrong. And I got a birthday in June. It was a very long process to get back to health.
Yeah.
I've gone 18 months without any processed sugar whatsoever. And I went from 263 pounds to 148. And I love sugar. I would take a huge mixing bowl and put glazed donuts in the bottom, about a half a gallon of ice cream on top of it. Glazed donuts on top. No, I'm serious. I was way over 150 pounds. I was completely out of control. And I was just medicated because I was depressed.
Yes.
And hadn't dealt with stuff from my childhood, just all kinds of stuff. But I'm just trying to stress and underline what Ms. Carroll said. It's a process. It's a process to do that. So what I wanted to say was I'd gone 18 months without any processed sugar. My mom and dad celebrate their wedding anniversary. And so we're downstairs here in the kitchen. And my mom, thought it'd be funny to take a piece of chocolate cake and shove it in.
Oh.
And so she did that. And I hadn't had sugar in 18 months. And immediately I was so angry, like I just wanted to snatch her up. Like, what are you doing? I'm doing all this. And then I swallowed it. And then I ate the rest of the cake.
Just that one little
Just
bite,
that
right?
one.
Oh, no,
that's just like
It's
an
just-
alcoholic.
That triggers.
Oh,
Yes.
I
Yes.
immediately
Yes.
knew what it was to be addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
And I never, from that day forward, I never looked at someone who's a drug addict with any condemnation. Because one piece of chocolate cake sent me back into a tailspin. And I had to do it all over again. You know? And so I would just, regardless of where you are in your life, and I've been on both ends of the spectrum, very severe. It is a process, and I think it's so important just picking that one thing that you know is really hurting, because you can get overwhelmed by all of this, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot,
One thing.
Yeah.
right? It's just one thing.
But I'm gonna write that down, learn that.
Learn to
Thing
hate
that you
it.
love,
Yeah.
Learn
because
to hate it.
that's what I need to do with the
Right.
sugar.
Yeah.
Well,
Can I share one of them? For Resurrection Sunday, a dear friend of mine gave me a box with goodies in it. Things like nail files and coasters with things on them like Grateful that I like. And they gave me a cross, a little cross that is chocolate.
Mm.
Now, I have that cross for a reason. Because every time I think about chocolate, I pick that up
that's cool.
and I see the cross.
Oh.
And I don't have to go there
That's right, because of the cost.
because of the cross. Now, had I been given a bag of truffles, that would have been a totally different story. So God's hand was even in that to see to my success.
Well, and the mind is the last thing to surrender. I mean, that is the last thing, that's why you gotta feed it with knowledge and replacement, because it's the last to surrender, really. is. And I've had clients, a client one time that had been clean for 10 years, had a drug addiction, and went in for some surgery, and they gave the person anesthesia, and it went to the part of the brain that triggered him again, had to go through the whole process again of rehab. Because it just took that one time of triggering that brain. This brain of ours is very powerful. And it took one time, just like you, Pastor Tim, and he was back on the track again, craving it, and just got back into it, and then had to go back to rehab. Because that part of his brain got triggered.
And that's, I think, what Ms. Carroll said about having community is powerful.
It's
Redirect.
powerful.
Redirect.
Because what happens is most of the time when we get really tempted, not all the time, sometimes you're right? That's so difficult. We're just sitting there, or we're just laying there, right? All those thoughts. So, I mean, it would be so bad for me, like, I would smell peanut butter out of people. I would smell peanut butter donuts, I mean, stuff that wasn't even in the house. I would have these weird manifestations of just like smelling it, craving it so bad. And I would do some of those same things. I would take communion, or I'd get up. I mean, I was younger, so it wasn't difficult for me to do some jumping jacks or to walk or redirect. When your body is stagnant, a lot of times your mind is just out of control. And so just to do something, anything.
Yeah.
It
Well,
does.
and the walking, exercise, and music activates the whole brain.
Absolutely.
So when you walk or when you, however, I will say about walking, you have to engage the brain. And I think I said that last week. You have to
Yeah, you
engage
did.
the brain in something peaceful while you're walking because it comes so natural. But it does activate the whole brain, which is the part of the brain that would have that opiate effect.
Right.
That's why people feel high after they exercise. Yeah.
And I had to do sugar as my thing. I had to. I would consume some now, but it's very, very small. Very
Yeah.
But it was killing me. And everybody in my family, especially when
Yeah, Mr. Young.
which is very sad, I know, died of horrible deaths, of cancer and diabetes, and just all kinds of just terrible sicknesses. And I just decided I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do that. As much as it's up to me.
Right.
It's my garden. I decided it's my garden.
Yeah.
Well, that's, eating out.
Oh, eating out.
You can eat out.
I know.
Yeah, you can do that.
I have to tell you,
Tell us where you ate out.
Roy Rogers. My husband wanted to go to Roy Rogers. No, wait a minute. You have to hear me. To which he says, but that's only if you would eat something.
That's my
Yes.
husband's favorite place to eat.
Well, he likes it. And so I
Take
was
your
like,
mouth.
okay. I'm sorry, I'm particular with my salads, so just any salad doesn't appeal to me. So I ate a couple chicken strips. And he was happy. He had what he wanted, he was happy. But it was not a dive in, have French fries, no bread, nothing like that. Yes, there was some breading on it, and I asked the Lord to nullify that little. No sweet and sour
Hey, Carol,
sauce.
let it go out where it is. When I had to get the flu shot, let it go in one way and out the other.
There you go. But you know, as far as eating out, you can ask for gluten-free menu, and a lot more of the restaurants are, helping with that. I will go to Panera a lot of times because their meat is clean. And Chipotle, that is another place I understand is, good. We got somebody said Boston Market. Organic.
Diana did.
Yep, I got one. So they have organic rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
So that's
That
a
was a
couple of
good
things.
tip.
So as you all see other things, share with each other. And I went to a really nice restaurant in Leesburg one evening, and they had amazing vegetable combinations, and I got like 3 different vegetable combinations that was really as filling as anything else. So there's, you can eat out. And I think that gives a lot of people, like, they breathe a sigh of relief because, we do enjoy eating out, especially more.
I think the tip
Now,
for
then
eating out is plan what you're gonna have before you get there. I mean, either look up their
Go on,
menu
yeah.
online
Yeah.
and say, okay, this is what I'm gonna have, because if you don't plan, you plan to fail. So if you
Yeah.
already decide what you're gonna have, when you walk in there, don't look at the menu and don't look at the pictures. Just say, this is what I'm gonna have. And that way it makes it easier on you. It really does.
Yeah, and with your salads, usually it's the salad dressing that's gonna get you at most restaurants. But a lot of places you can ask for olive oil and a lemon and some sea salt And you can dress any salad with that, and it's pretty good.
And the grocery store has these little containers that are this big and they're foam with a flip lid and then they lock closed.
Oh, yeah.
That you can take your own olive oil with a little vinegar already in it. So it doesn't matter what they have.
You could. Yes, there's great salad dressing recipes in the back of your book. Some delicious ones. Definitely look at those. They
Say
are
one more
amazing.
thing about sugar.
Yeah.
Knowing that sugar.
It's just because I've been there, done that, and have the t-shirt in every possible size. So one of the things when I started to eat much healthier, that I was completely overwhelmed by, because we've been a one-income family. Was how expensive it was to eat. How much more expensive it was to eat. I think, depending on your resources, that can be a very overwhelming, daunting thing where you can literally buy 12 cans of SpaghettiOs for the same price of one head of broccoli. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but not much. But one thing I thought of consistently was it cost me nothing to accomplish. It cost me nothing. In fact, it saved
Yeah.
quite a bit of money that I was able to redirect to other things.
Yeah, and processed foods are expensive.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
From the chips to the hamburger helper or whatever. They are expensive. And we've talked about shopping at Aldi and Costco and different places like that. And you get better at not wasting when you have spent a little more money sometimes too on organic this or that. I think you become a better planner.
I helped serve lunch on Good Friday at the Celebration Army. For the kids, they had these juice boxes. And they were just this big. They were just this tiny. Had 32 grams of sugar.
Oh, no, that's terrible, those juice boxes.
To think about that, it had to be almost a third. I mean, if you actually put the sugar in that box, it had to come up to almost a third of that box.
Sugar water.
Scary.
And that's, it's one of the reasons why we struggle with it so much.
Yeah, we started young. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
Old statement.
I love.
Soda for kids, oh my gosh. They just drink soda like, that's their drink, that's their beverage, soda.
Yeah.
How many times I've seen this a lot in my experience. You can see kids with sippy cups and soda.
Well, how about baby bottles? Soda in Walmart.
Yes.
Diane, you're up.
Oh, my, I thought you could have, you're not gonna have that.
Heather's you're gonna do a little bit on 30, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, you ready for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you we're gonna have good feisty sharing tonight,
Okay.
right?
Well, I have day 29, which is the covenant of health, and I thought the scripture that they gave was kind of interesting. It was Exodus 15:26. If you diligently heed the voice of the Lord your God and do what's right in his sight, give ear to his commandments and keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you, which I have brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you. So I was thinking, what is the covenant in that? And what is the definition of covenant? Well, it's literally a contract, an agreement between God and his people, in which God makes promises to his people and requires certain conduct from them. So, we're partners with God. God is not just going to say, okay, I'm going to heal you. There's a part that we have to play in this. There's a role that we have to play. And it says in this scripture, if you diligently heed the voice of the Lord your God and do what's right in his sight, give ear to his commandments and keep all his statutes. It was like, then I will put none of the diseases on you. Well, that makes sense because the things that God asks us to do, if we diligently heed his voice, then those are going to be the right decisions, that we're going to have none of these diseases. And then the second scripture was about blessings of obedience. So he's talking a lot about obedience and the covenant, and that covenant was in the Old Testament. But you know what? We have more than they had in the Old Testament, because the other covenant we have is who? Jesus. We have Jesus. So we have a double, and we've got the Holy Spirit. So that makes the third.
And you know, the interesting thing to me is God has not changed. Those promises that he made, his mercy, his love, he hasn't changed.
Right.
He's the same today.
Yesterday, tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So he hasn't changed. Who's changed? We have changed. So we have to look at what our mindset, and then the second part of this was about reaping and sowing, and everybody knows about these. So whatever you sow, you reap. Okay, and that's what she has in here. She talks about that and God's promises, and this the principle of sowing and reaping. Well, this is what I have to say about that. Okay, so I'm going to sow these, and what am I going to reap?
Peppers.
Oh, really? Really? You see, at the factory, there was someone who came in and they'd been on drugs, and they hadn't done the drug testing. And so they were in line for this. Okay? They were in line to put this, but it got reversed. And these seeds went in this package. So I planted this, and all of a sudden, you don't know, I mean, it's underground, and seed has a covering, and the package is packaged. Here's the picture, and it says this, and all of a sudden, it starts coming up, and I see this green top, and I'm like, well, this isn't what was on the packaging. So it was deception. And this is what we're fighting, is deception. The carrot is in the organic. These both happen to be organic. I chose these from my husband's seeds. But my point is, yes, sowing and reaping. Okay, that's a wonderful concept. But what if what you think you're sowing is not really real? That's why this course is so, it's just awesome, because we're learning education so that you test the waters. You don't believe what's in the package. You say, well, okay, maybe I ought to look at this seed and see, does this seed, let me Google it, does this seed look like this? Now, I'm being funny about this, but seriously, that's why we're here, is to learn about deception. Because the sowing and reaping, yes, what you sow, you reap. But if you don't know what you're sowing, if you think what's in that package doesn't have, what I'm learning is like soy is in a lot more things than you think.
Oh,
I mean, oh my gosh, I started looking through the protein bars that I buy that are kind bars. Oh yeah, they've got soy in them, you know, and looking at salad dressings that have canola oil. So you can't just judge the package. You've got to look. And so I want you to continue to read labels, because there's so much deception. The FDA, you know, has they've given us this packaging, but this is what's in it. So you got to be careful. And I'm glad that we're having all this education, because, as I said, the mind is the last to surrender. And the only way you're going to change your mindset is through knowledge, is to get to know what you need to change and know the difference. The health lesson for this day was on, I think, probiotics. Do you want me to talk a little bit about that?
If you will.
Okay.
We're getting short on time. We got Heather.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll just say one. I just have two things to say about that. It's interesting to me. Oh, you know, I'm going to say more. No, I'm just going to say two. It's interesting to me that a lot like antibiotics, this is a connection between the gut. Okay. It's about the gut and emotions, which I'm not going to go into. But think about this. When you take an antibiotic, what's the side effect? What's one of the side effects you experience? And I get this. I mean, I haven't taken an antibiotic in a long time. I took one this winter. First, got a rash all over my neck, and secondly, it hurt my stomach. Like, it goes through. So anything you take, like an antibiotic, goes through the part of the brain that deals with the gut. So does all the antidepressants have a nausea effect too. So a lot of the medication, I'm not saying don't take antidepressants. I'm just saying that when you put these chemicals in your body, your body's going to tell you. And so just taking, just being careful about antibiotics and because of the diseases that they cause. And so just be aware of that. And so here's the flip of that. If you start eating clean like this, you won't be sick. And guess what? You won't need an antibiotic. So if you go to the roof, which is eating clean, then this problem over here, you won't have. That's all I have to say. Okay.
For Diane, just real quick on what, as Heather's coming up, to what Diane said about, deception and packaging, things like that, we rely real heavy on the food pyramid in the United States, but most other countries have disbanded that food pyramid decades ago. Literally decades ago, because it was so unproportionate and unhealthy to eat those foods in those proportions. Which is why we see so many of children with obesity and lactose issues at a young age already.
Right.
Because they're getting just crammed with all this junk that they should not be taking.
It's a system that is a decade system.
Yes.
There's no one else.
Exciting.
And our children are more sick than they used to be too. I mean, they
Yes.
really have more illnesses. They've got, diabetes at like age 12. So, and that's from all of the way they're eating. Okay.
I'm so glad you all are fired up.
First of all,
And Heather is so excited. I'm so excited about her sharing. So-
I'm excited, but not excited to share. Okay, this is not my thing. Standing up
Do you want me
here.
to stand up
No,
here?
I'm good. I'm good. Pastor Kim did a great job helping me with my chapter because he talked about sugar.
No.
So thank you, because I think the Lord helped me out. He's like, go ahead, I'll put a little bit out for you. You'll talk a little bit. So I wanted to start just by talking about how much I've loved the changes that I've been learning in the book, and just from the protein that we're taking, and the whole program for Arbonne right now is just, it's blowing my mind. And this chapter, so I picked your chapter first because I was like, oh, I have it. And then she told me, and I'm like, fine. I'll pick a different chapter. And then she says, not this chapter either, because then she's one. I'm like, okay, fine. So I was like, all right, well, I'm like, I prayed on it, and this is the chapter you gave me, but that's okay. Because you know what? I think this is actually the one I'm supposed to fall upon. So sugar is like my nemesis, and it's really been like eye-opening more. Like I was kind of like in denial about how addicting sugar was until we've really been talking. We've talked about it a lot tonight, and addiction runs in my family. And I always thought, well, I'm not an addict. I'm gonna skip my genes because I'm just like not that kind of person. Thank God. And so I started to really take a full look of how I'm eating and what I love. And then yesterday, when we're not your house, but when we went to another house and they have all this other stuff, and I'm like, and I'm literally sitting at the table having a conversation, and I'm like, just eat that cupcake. Just eat the cupcake. And I kept hearing it, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So then I started realizing that, I thought I was really doing better with the program, but I realized that there is that addiction. And I thought it was pretty neat that in the book, it is a circle, because it's like, it really is a vicious cycle. You go and you think you're doing really good, and then something comes along your path and it takes you back 3 steps. So I thought I was doing really good because I made these completely gluten-free. I mean, no potato starch, gluten-free, like really out of a box. Did my research. I was very excited. I used coconut oil, coconut milk, completely it was like top notch. Make coconut cupcakes to take to my sisters. And they were awesome, by the way. Everybody loved them. I took them down to my other house and they loved them. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to have one cupcake and then I won't feel like I'm slighting myself. And I know that what's in the ingredients of it versus going to the grocery store and just buying the cupcake that you don't know what's in it and it's pure sugar. So I'm making small tweaks, and I realized that since I've been on this program, my big thing was I don't like coffee. I can do without the coffee. It was more of a novelty to have it in the morning or like a part of your routine. But I would put 6 sugars in my 1 cup of coffee. 6. And since I have not been having that coffee and having my 6 teaspoons every morning, that has made a complete difference. I've lost some weight. I've lost some inches. I'm feeling much better. So
Did you have a withdrawal?
the very first day, they told me day 3 you would have these withdrawal symptoms. You'd have the headache, you'd be tired. It was the very first day I got a headache. And I thought it was really in my head. But I'm just thinking about it, but I really do think, I was really surprised, I think that I wasn't going through more withdrawal from it, but I think it's because the stuff that I'm feeding my body with all these vegetables and healthy stuff, that if I was just stopped sugar and kept eating regular food, I probably would have noticed it a whole lot more, I think. And the fluids, drinking a lot of the water. But my skin feels great. That's one thing I really noticed. And I thought I was a pretty decent sleeper, but I actually have been sleeping so differently. Like lights out, don't hear nothing until wake up.
Oh, my.
And
That's cool.
and that's completely like blown my mind too.
Yeah.
So there's small little things that you take for granted and you think, oh, you're really doing great on, but it's just these little changes that make a big difference. And this chapter, besides the sugar part of it, I think really was supposed to be for me too, because my husband, as Diane knows, we've been hearing an announcement in church about this class coming up, and I was having a lot of stuff going on with my younger child, and I'm like, there's no way I have time to cut out of my schedule to come up here and do this. And the day that Diane says, I have books, Chris says, do you want a book? I'm like, I told you, I can't do the class because I don't have time. I will take care of whatever it is Monday night that we need to do with the younger kids. I'll buy you the book. Here's the $15. Go up and get the book. And I'm like, okay. But I had no idea what I was in for. None. And it was completely, God like directed.
Set you up.
He did. And I'm so thankful for it. And it's not even just like the buying the book. I'm like, here, go on and do your thing. He's been asking, as soon as I got the program, he's like, I want to do it with you. And I said, no. I said, no. Men lose weight quicker. I need to do this first. I said, I need to start this first. I need at least a 2-week start, and then you can do it. But if you start going up with me and you start losing weight, I'm going to throw something at you. I'm going to quit and be done with it. So, and it's not about him. It's about me.
Yes,
And
I love that.
I know that he'll lose his weight and he'll be fine, whatever, but so he can start next time. I told him. So that's been a really big support. But he's like, well, fine, then I won't do the protein shakes, but I'll eat whatever you're eating. Don't make anything special. Whatever you're eating for
That is
yourself.
cool. That's awesome.
It is. I've had such support, even with the kids. Like my younger son had the day off school today, and I was off school today because I work at school. And he said, take me to Chick-fil-A. It's his #1 go-to place to eat in the world. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I can tell you right now, the first 2 days after I think I started this program, I smelled fried chicken everywhere I went. Everywhere. And I was like, and I live in Thurmont, and we have that Mountain Gate, which I'm not a fan of their food, but when you drive by and you smell the fried chicken, it's like, so I was really, I was kind of like thinking, it wasn't even like a second thought. It wasn't like, oh God, we're going here and I want chicken nuggets. But I went in, I'm like, I'm going in. I'm getting the grilled chicken. I don't know who mentioned that this last time.
They had grilled chicken.
Grilled chicken, 2 slices of lettuce, and that's what I got. And he was blown away. He's sitting there eating his 12.
Chicken.
2 12-count, 24 chicken nuggets. He's sitting there. Huh?
30 now.
Well, I told him, I'm like, I don't know how you eat 24 chicken nuggets, but what have you? He has youth on his side, I guess. But he's sitting here eating his chicken nuggets, and I pick it up like a sandwich, and he's like, they give you a fork and a knife. I'm like, this isn't a salad. I wanted a sandwich. So he says, you're gonna pick that up and eat it like that? I said, I sure am. Because in my mind, this is a sandwich. So I ate it. He was like, do you want some of my fries? Nope. We went to Roy Rogers a couple weeks ago. He had to stop to get Roy Rogers. He says, Mom, here, hold your fries for me real quick. I need to get something out of the bag. And of course, my husband was like, that's a really, stupid move to give your mom your fries. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, again, the addiction. It's so funny because I'm like holding it and I'm like, oh. And as I'm getting ready to take the picture, Chris is dragging his next to my hand. And I give it back to him. I'm like, here, take these stupid things. Like having a French fry. And that's really been funny how much you can't live without a French fry. But it's just the support. We had a dinner tonight that I didn't like. The first recipe. I made so many recipes that we have loved, and the kids have loved. My husband loves them. And I made a recipe tonight that I didn't love, But I can tell you, everybody else at the table was like raving about it and they kept eating it. And I was like,
That's awesome, awesome.
support,
And these
family support.
recipes out of the book?
They are recipes from our Facebook page.
Okay. Okay.
So one thing, there might have been a couple of them that there is a link on the Facebook page that gives you like the whole 30-day program, and it gives you first week, second week recipes from vegan, winter, fall, winter, spring, summer, and that is where I got my shake recipes. There's a shake recipe that used basil in it and lemon juice.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to say, it's like it hasn't been very much effort as much as I've thought, and there have been a lot of programs that I have tried. A lot of programs that I've tried, and different regimens of between going to the gym and having a trainer, all of it, and none of it has worked until this because
It's because of the food.
it's because of the God.
It's the God
Yeah.
part.
It is.
Right.
God.
It
You
is God
are
part.
right.
You know, you said something that's really interesting, I think, just on the social commentary. So you were talking about your son and you didn't get chicken nuggets, because I think it is